is Yolanda Martinez. I'm an Agile coach with Clearly Agile. Today, we're going to talk about the MVP, Minimum Viable Product. We're going to talk about what is an MVP, what are the benefits of an MVP, is it for new products or existing offerings, a few examples of companies that use MVP, a couple of simple forms for getting an MVP created, and how to get started. So what's an MVP? MVP is minimum viable product. The minimum viable product is a lean startup term that was defined by Eric Ries, who wrote Lean Startup. MVP is simply the smallest bare bones experiment of your product, idea, or service offering that enables you to launch it fast to a small set of target users so that you can begin to get user feedback to learn if it's viable or if it gives you your expected outcome. So, why is it important? As Rupert Murdoch once said, the world is changing very fast. Big will not beat small anymore. It will be the fast that's beating the slow. And this is seen readily today in the world we live in with COVID-19. The world is changing so quickly. Companies that once produced one type of product are having to pivot so that they can produce a different kind of product. Now, there's demand out there for those products, but as we continue to change and move forward, companies are going to need to be fast and therefore focus on only the bare bones minimum to be able to put it out there to a small target set of users and test the demand. What are the benefits? So the benefits, the first is to test that user appetite or market demand. You want to be able to see if there truly is an appetite for your product. How many times do we or our users that we're building software for believe that we have the best idea since sliced bread? But when we release the product after months and months of perfecting it with every shiny feature, we realize people don't like it, or they can't use it, or it just doesn't give them the value that they expected. So why wait? It saves time and money. Time is money. You save money by focusing on creating the minimum viable product versus spending time and money on building the entire product offering. It enables you to get it out there right away and test the demand. That enables you to gain the competitive advantage. Having the competitive advantage means that you are first in the market with your idea. And last but not least, it reduces risks. You reduce the risk of potentially creating something that is not economically viable. You see, minimum means spending as little time and effort as possible to create it. You want to keep it small to accelerate learning and eliminate excess expense. Less is more. In the Agile world, focusing on minimal viable product aligns with Agile principle number 10, which is to maximize the amount of work that is not done. Now, is it for new products or existing products, product offerings, ideas, experiments? It's an experiment. It's a small experiment, and it's not just for new ideas. It's also for enhancements and for new versions. Here are some examples of companies that have had much success by using the MVP. Airbnb is a great example. This website started when the original thinkers realized that the hotels in San Francisco were booked up for a large event. So what did they do? They decided to set up mattresses in their living room floors and create a hacked up website with a simple little picture to advertise that their place was available for rent. Guess what? They actually got 3 guests and they provided breakfast. And what they did is they used the feedback to focus on the core user experience rather than adding a bunch of new features. The next company that I love to talk about is Dropbox. They mocked up a bare bones skeleton of their website with navigation. And rather than putting the whole product out there, they made a short video of it and they demoed it. They put it out there for people to see how easy it is to share files across their devices. And they targeted a small community of technology early adopters, similar to what Airbnb did. They targeted a small segment of users in the San Francisco area. Dropbox had a simple little button that if the user was interested, they actually clicked it and it signified their interest to Dropbox. Dropbox got over 75,000 interest, and that enabled them to test the market demand for it. So here's two easy forms of getting their MVP created. And there's many out there. You can do some research and there's a whole slew of different ways. But two easy ways is one, to create a simple mock-up. It can be on a website that enables you to get qualitative data. The second way is to draw it up on a piece of paper. Rather than having low fidelity or high fidelity mock-ups that consume time and utilize people, just hand draw it on a piece of paper. So maybe you have an idea to build a mobile app for luxury boat owners who want to make their boats available for rent, sort of like the Airbnb for people who want to rent a boat. You could hand draw a sketch mock-up of the mobile app. You could actually go around to boat owners, and ask them questions like, do they have a web app like this already? If not, why? Would they use one? What kind of technology problems do they have? What kind of issues do they foresee with a product like this? Are they tech savvy? Do they even understand this? Do they want a mobile app? Maybe they'd like a website instead. These are the types of things you can do by simply drawing it on a piece of paper. So, how can you get started with creating your MVP? The important thing to do is ask yourself two simple questions. First, come up with your riskiest assumption, and then ask yourself, what is the smallest experiment that I can do to test this assumption? That's MVP in a nutshell.